Welcome to the Chronicles, Part 1, The Local Concert. Now, to begin the Chronicles, we are going to be taking a step back in time. We're going to be going to the beginning of 2019, around March, I would say. Now, this isn't, obviously exactly when the coronavirus started happening in the US, but this is, in my mind, this really sets the scene for this whole series and is just too good of a story for me to leave out. So I figured, hey, let's kind of kick off the Chronicles with a sort of a prequel. And let's get ready and just dive right into it. So going back to the beginning of 2019, during this time period, I was just on like a much more sober vibe. I was in like my sober era, if you will. I was really taking a break from smoking and all that other stuff, psychedelics, all that. So I really wasn't focused on that. I was really just focused on like diet and working out and stuff like that. And I was really, working on my portfolio for like cinematography and photography, stuff like that. I was really still pushing on that because in high school, like a lot of the specialty classes I took were film and photography. So that was kind of like where my interest was coming out of high school. And, this is a few years after. I think I'm like 21, 22 at this point. But, I got a couple of buddies. And I actually met these guys on social media. Now, we're going to be just kind of using their real names here, Cameron and Chandler. Cameron, stage name, he goes by KO. And then at the time, Chandler was going by Stretch. So just kind of some different names I'll be using for these two guys. These are kind of our two main characters for this bit. We also have a couple of female characters as well. We have Reina and Katera. So those two characters are going to be popping up in our story quite a bit as well. We've also got Eddie. He's the DJ, kind of the entire backbone of this concert, if you will. He's kind of the whole reason it really was able to happen with, as smoothly as it was. And then we're going to have a couple other characters who are kind of less main characters in this story, but we'll have Connor and I can't remember the other guy's name off top. I'm just going to call him Austin. So we'll have Connor and Austin. These are sort of the two guys that are responsible for setting up the show, all the behind the scenes, all the lighting, getting the venue and all that sort of thing. Cameron and Chandler, KO and Stretch, these are two of our rappers here. This is a rap show. I didn't really want to title it that to throw anyone off to I don't think it really makes a difference. It was a great night either way, but it really isn't like the focus isn't on like the rap aspect of it. But either way, there are a couple hip hop musicians, rappers, whatever, SoundCloud artists. KO at the time, he had 100K on SoundCloud. And to me, that was really like, I was like, damn, bro, like, even meeting this guy, I gotta like really preface this because the first time I met KO, I like literally like he just reminded me of Lil Peep, and I think Lil Peep had actually just passed or like pretty recently before them, so it was pretty cool just like linking up with this guy, like super chill vibe. He's got like the face tats and everything. I guess you're sort of typical SoundCloud rapper by today's standards. Well. And Stretch as well. It's just sort of like they have this really cool sort of image, sort of vibe together. So they the two of them, like even hearing their music, I was like I'm gonna be real, boys, because these are just some guys from the local high school. Like these aren't, KO's got a little motion on SoundCloud, but they're really just like just homies from high school. Like they're not really popping like that yet, but they're showing me this song and, we're kind of talking. The reason we all kind of linked up is I hit them up on Instagram. I'm like, yo, let's make a music video. Cause I seen them teasing this new song on Instagram. I'm like, yo, this would be fire. Let's make a music video and all this stuff. And, I had a decent little camera at the time, nothing crazy. It was like a Canon 80D. So definitely could do 1080p video and take nice pictures, but nothing like full frame or 4K or, super crazy. I didn't have any crazy lenses, like just pretty much just the kit lens. So, but it was perfect. That's all we needed. And you know, so little backstory, we shot a music video for this new song, and you know, one day, you know, because we were hanging out a lot during this time, we're just filming a lot, sort of, you know, just getting into whatever, just going on little hikes or whatever, just kind of like, you know, planning stuff. And like, you know, we're like, yo, we could really like, because I'm telling them, like, you guys really have like talent here, and like, you know, this is like me, like a lot of people, like they'll show you a rap song, you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, but it was actually something like, I was like, oh, I'll listen to this again and again. It's like, they, like, in my mind, they really were onto something, more than just making a cool song just to be cool. Like, they were really tapping into this music a little bit. Well, they're telling me they got a concert coming up, so I'm getting kind of hype. I'm like, yo, that would be lit. Let me get some film from the concert, and you know, we'll put it in the music video. And so, you know, we're getting hype and everything, and like, you know, it's a local show. I gotta, like, we're not in a big city, okay? And there was supposed to be advertising done for this, but it never happened. So it was supposed to be a lot bigger than it was, but we'll get into it. That really didn't end up mattering much. So the day rolls around for the concert, and we all roll over to Eddie's house, you know, the DJ, and they're kind of warming up. They're practicing their set. Stretch wasn't really, he was just hopping on that one song. So that's really all he was kind of there for. But KO, you know, I really have to preface this, he's kind of the star of this show, of this, you know, of this particular story. And, you know, and again, we'll get into all this as we get further down the story. But I have to mention as well, so there's a few acts coming on, right? So we have KO, Stretch, we have Reina and Kitero, which are the two females, all right? They're two pretty good friends as well. They're kind of like just the female version of Stretch and KO. Like, they got their own little motion going just from their high school. They're doing good numbers on SoundCloud without really any promo. You know, they're all independent, just making songs, having fun. You know, so we've got quite this little, you know, group coming together. Eddie as well, the DJ. He's also a very, very talented musician and rapper. So he's got his whole stage name. He's got, you know, albums and music that he's done. He's actually like studying to become an audio engineer. So it's like he's in my mind, like he's a real professional, you know? And again, the main reason why this was all able to happen the way it was. So now, we've also got a bunch of other acts. They're pretty minor, mediocre, like a bunch of opening acts. Like, we had, you know, some Bay Area style rap here, you know, that like, yeah, I was popping, you know, they're just kind of like that, I don't know, you know, that Bay Area rap, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm from Sacramento, so it's like, I love the Bay, is what I'm saying. Like, all love goes out to them. You know, Sac is basically the Bay, right? I mean, it's like, it's just right there in case you didn't know, but either way, so we, you know, we're at Eddie's house. We're kind of getting all ready. And like I said before, I kind of started to get into this, but Katera and Reina was really the one who hit me up, right? Like, I didn't know either of these girls. Reina just hit me up. She'd kind of seen on my Instagram. She'd seen I was, you know, hanging out with KO a lot, doing pictures, stuff like that. And she's like, yo, you should get me and my girl and get some cool videos and photos of us as well. And like, you know, and I was like, bet, you know, I'm already going to be there. This is going to be perfect, right? Like, I really, at the time, I was starting to build my Instagram page and kind of getting my name out there for this type of stuff. So it was perfect. So I was like, yeah, you got, like, you know, we're just like, you know, super cool. She seems like, you know, just like this is going to work out super well. She's super chill, all that. Like, you know, I'm hyped to work with everybody. I really am. And, you know, so, you know, we're all here at Eddie's house kind of getting ready. And, the time goes to head over to the venue. So we get some food on our way to the venue. And I have to mention this as well, is that KO and Stretch were both underage, right? So they were actually not allowed to even be in the concert until they went on. Like, they had to stay outside, basically. So they dropped me, or, you know, I was driving them. So we actually pull up, and, you know, they ended up getting a ride to leave. Because in the beginning, before the show started, it's like, you know, we're just kind of hanging out, checking it out. Like, there's nobody there except for, like, you know, Austin and Connor, the film guys, right? So they're kind of just, like, setting up really early. Like, literally nobody's here yet. So like, I just kind of post up, and I'm like, I'm just, I'm gonna kind of get ready because I want to get cool, intro stuff like B-roll, all that type of stuff. So my plan was to stay here, and of course they couldn't really hang out for long because once it started to get around like shows beginning to, everything starting to happen, like they had to leave. So Connor ends up coming up to me, right? One of the film guys, and he notices I have a camera. And this man was like, it's like that picture like of, like, who is it? Like Jesus and like that other guy where they're like touching hands, like that famous like painting or whatever, or whoever those two guys are. That's like this guy. He comes up to me. He's like, dude, like I've noticed you got this camera. Like, we kind of talk a little bit. He's like, look, I need you to film this event, right? And he's not just handing me like another like Canon 80D. No, he's handing me a full on like a glide cam, steady cam, this whole rig with, a light and a really nice Sony. I can't remember which model, but it was 4K, really nice. Like, he's handing me a couple $1,000s worth of equipment. And he's like, bro, like, I don't really have like all my people here tonight. Like this night, he's, letting me know like things have not been going smoothly for him. Right. So he's like, I need you to film. And I'm like, bro, say less, dude. Like I literally felt like right place at the right time. Couldn't have, because dude, I was made like, I was like, bro, if there's anyone here you can trust, it's me. Like I'm ready for this, So he gives me the camera, and as people start showing up, it's like, it's not too late. It's like maybe 6, 7 p.m., but people are starting to show up. And, at one point I had seen Raina, and, I didn't know this girl or Katera, right? But, Raina kind of comes up to me, whatever. She's like all, saying hi, thank you so much for coming, all this stuff. And, I kind of noticed like this other girl with her, and my, kind of in my head, I'm like, oh, who's this? I'm like, damn, this girl's gorgeous, And I begin to find out, oh, this is Katera. I'm like, dude, this girl's literally a goddess. Like, really don't want to be disrespectful in any type of way or just underplay like her raw beauty, but like, wow, dude. And I'm just like, I'm like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm all, I'm just like, dude, I'm like, so this is such a lit night for me. Like, I'm just like, I'm just so happy to be here. And I'm like, they're like, oh, thank you so much for being here, all this stuff. And, they kind of go or whatever. So I'm here, I'm filming like the opening acts, and the opening acts are nothing to shake a stick at. Like, they're not really getting anybody lit. And again, something else I have to mention, this show was supposed to be like promoted around town. So they were expecting like maybe not 500 people, but like 300 people here, right? Which for a small town local show is pretty big. And in reality, maybe like 50 to 75 people ended up showing up. But that, again, that's really not like, that didn't matter, because once we get into like this, the type of person that KO is, and like the way he literally, like, in my mind, it's like you either have that it factor or you don't. Like, you hear people in Hollywood kind of say that, but I really witnessed it this night because, KO is not somebody necessarily I'd be like, oh, bar for bar, he's like the best rapper in the world, or he's like best flow ever. I mean, he's really, really talented, but his real talent is just his ability to get the room bumping. And we're going to get into it because it was so dead in here. Like, dude, the first guy to go on, like, kind of like the classic Bay Area rapper, he's kind of got like the sideways hat, pants are falling off, got the J's, got the big chains, all that stuff. And, he's kind of like looking to the side. Like, I was getting some cool, like, little shots of him, don't get me wrong, but, I begin to realize I don't have the most battery in the world, right? So I'm not really like doing a ton of filming on these opening acts. I'm just kind of getting my lighting right, getting the white balance, everything, just making sure my shots are good, making sure I know where I'm going to be, what parts of the room, and all the rest, right? So, there was like 4 or 5 opening acts, and they did get better as time goes on, thankfully, but they were a little rough. I mean, the room was like, it was a little painful in there, and I felt like people were watching me more than the rappers, because I'm kind of running around, I got the steady cam, the glide cam. I'm going around getting all this footage and stuff, trying to get like shots of the crowd and stuff, but it was just not working yet. And like, I'm getting nervous because I'm seeing my battery start to go down, right? And like like this isn't my first time filming a live show. I'm like, dude, I don't want to run out of battery by the time like our main acts go on. Like, that's gonna suck. And I run into Connor again, one of the film guys, or Austin, one of the two, and he's telling me, he's like, bro, listen, because I'm telling him, like, bro, I'm running out of battery here, and we don't even like, we haven't even had the girls come on yet. Like, KO's still got to go. He's like, listen to me, dude. I do not give a shit about anyone here except for KO. You make sure that you use the rest of that battery on him. I want good shot. Like, he's telling me, he's like, bro, he's like, he's leaning in. We're going in for the huddle. He's like, team, and I'm like, all right, coach, put me in the game. I'm ready. I'm ready, coach. And, we kind of hype up, and we're like, okay, and, he's hyping me up, bro. I feel like this guy's like my mentor, he's like, I don't know how this guy has the energy he has right now. And then it's like as I'm thinking this, and this dude just whips out a bottle of Patron, and I'm like, oh, and it starts to hit me, because I'm like, dude, this dude's like, he's like, I love you, bro. Like, he's just going crazy, saying all this stuff to me. And I'm like, oh, you're like, and I'm looking at him a little closer, because it's dark in here, there's a lot of noise. I'm looking at him closer, I'm like, oh, dude, this guy is hammered out of his mind, right? And me at the time, like, I was, completely sober. I wasn't smoking, doing anything. So, like, at this point, I was fully sober, right? And he's like, dude, he's looking at me. He's like, I can already see it in the look in his eyes, what he's about to say. He's like, he's like slowly pushing the bottle into my hand. He's like, dude. And he's like looking down at the bottle. He's like, he's not even saying like have some, but he's like, it's like, you can tell that if I say no to this man, the shock wave it would create would just be potentially disastrous for the human race. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, there's no way. And it was just like the vibe. I don't know. He was hyping me up. He's like, bro, you're the man. Like, get these shots, make them be. He's making me feel like I'm Devin Supertramp in this bitch. I'm feeling amazing. Like, he's hyping me up. He's like, take this bottle. And so, dude, we're damn near holding this bottle together, and I bottoms up. He's cheering me on. He's like, chug, chug, chug. I don't know what he's saying. He wasn't saying that, but he's hyping me up. He's like, he's getting lit, dude. And so I'm bottoms up on this bottle of Patron, and I don't want to say like I took like a shot, because I don't know how much I drank, but I had that bottle. I got a good bit of alk in my system, right? And like, just like the adrenaline, like, I don't know, he hyped me up, and it's like the openers were finally over, and it's time for Raina and Katera to go on, the two females, and like this alcohol is like flowing through my veins, and just the adrenaline, and like as soon as these girls came out, the whole vibe switched. It went from being this dead, like everybody's like damn near looking at their phones and stuff, to like people are starting to get hyped. They're yelling their names. They're like, okay, and I'm feeling it, but I'm like, okay, I don't want to use too much battery. I got a little bit of footage, right? Like, I'm just kind of getting a little bit right away. I'm a little bit drunk, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not anywhere on Connor's level, but I feel fantastic. And, I'm putting the camera down. I'm putting Connor's camera down. And, I have my camera still. And I'm like, and I was like, I kind of had an idea here. I was like, huh, I was kind of like scratching my, my chin a little bit. And I'm like, I know exactly, because there's no way I'm going to miss this opportunity. Like, these girls are getting this room hype, right? And, so I pull out my camera, and I'm taking pictures, dude. You know, I'm just like, I'm so turned up that, like, bro, you wouldn't have thought that was me. I'm like damn near twerking in this bitch. And it's not that type of music. Like, it's not like Cardi B, like stripper rap. It's like, these are like boss queen, you know, babe, you know, I don't know, like slay queen, you know, like these, I don't know. They just had that, like, they have a completely different vibe where it's like, I don't know, it was just getting me turned, dude, and I'm going crazy, and I'm high, like I'm jumping off the stage and shit, doing like, I'm damn near trying to crowd surf. I'm going crazy, dude, and I'm taking pictures. I'm getting these pictures, and I'm looking at them, and I don't know if it was just alcohol or what, but I'm like just, I don't know, dude. I'm just bussing because I'm like, I'm so lit, I'm so turned. I think that like I'm getting the best shots in the world, right? And honestly, we'll get to it, but they weren't bad, right? But I'm having more fun than I am like actually taking pictures and videos because I don't know, like they were just so hype, and you know, like I'm just like, damn, you know, I've never really seen like females rap like this, especially just like some, you know, girls like, you know, from our town or whatever. So it was pretty impressive, and they're getting me lit, they're getting me hype. Everything's great. I'm having a great time. Like, I don't know, like it's just like one of the best nights I'd had in a long time. And finally it's KO's time. And like, when I say like, I don't know how to preface this, because like, it's just the way like he enters, like, I don't know, he's just got that rock star vibe. Like, I truly realized in this moment, I was like, wow, dude, like this guy, like his ability to get this room going is so much more impressive to me than anything, like, than really anything else. Like, I don't know, like, to me, this is kind of what it seems to be like all about, like just getting the crowd super hyped up and, you know, just dancing, having fun. Like, you know, like that's just what he was doing, and it worked so well. And I've got the camera back, right? Like my battery's on red, but I'm filming, and dude, like I'm yelling because we were filming a lot of, you know, stuff for his music video. So I'm like, I know a lot of his songs, so I'm screaming the lyrics, dude. I'm up on stage. I'm banging my head. I'm going crazy, dude. I'm hyping him up. I'm going crazy around this room. I'm getting glide cam shots. Like, dude, I'm up on the fucking balcony, like where we were. Like, dude, I'm all around this this theater, right? Because it was a little mini theater, a little 2-story mini theater. I'm everywhere, dude. I was so lit off this like shot of alcohol, plus the adrenaline of seeing KO like performing and getting up there, and like, I don't know, I'm just like, damn, it's my boy, you know, like, and he's killing the shit, and you know, like the room is hype, like people are actually like fucking jumping up and down, hands in the air, you know, like really digging the music and digging the vibe, and yeah, like, dude, he absolutely killed it. Stretch came on with them. They did the song we were specifically filming for the music video. And dude, I'm screaming every word. Like, I'm up on stage with them, and I got the camera right up in their face, and I'm like, you know, I got one hand like, you know, up and down. I'm vibing along. I got the other hand on the glide cam. Like, you know, we're going crazy, and like he even took the camera from me at one point. He's all filming. Like, it was so lit, dude. The three of us are up there just on stage, just having the time of our lives, and like I was super grateful they kind of let me feel included, even though like I'm just kind of there to film. But like, dude, I felt like I was on the stage with them, dude. And again, for there being like 50 people, maybe, like conservatively, it was absolutely epic. And to me, that was cooler than like a professional artist getting like, you know, a full stadium or arena sold out. Like, if you're just some kid from your high school able to really like make an impact like that and get that many people excited, like that, you got motion, and like not just anybody can do that. So after KO and Stretch finished their performance, their set, you know, everyone's kind of, you know, the show's kind of dying down. People are still kind of hanging around, and it's still pretty lit in there. It's, you know, there's still some music playing and stuff, so it's not like just completely over, right? But I'm again, I was running back, like I don't know what it was. I think it was just the alcohol and the adrenaline, because I was all over this building, maybe more than I should have been, right? Because at some point between like coming from the balcony back to the main like stage area down below, I go down the stairs and I see Austin and Connor, the two of the main film guys, kind of arguing. And, I'm kind of up at more of the top of the stairs still. They're kind of at the bottom. Now, there's one more character. Her name's Jenny. She's a part of their film crew as well, or at least she was back in the day. But she's another kind of character in our story that I have to mention, because I'm standing at the top of these stairs and they're kind of arguing down there, and I don't really at first know what it's about, because I'm kind of thrown back too. I thought these guys were really good friends. Like, it looked like they, everything was going so smooth without a hitch or whatever, But it turns out that wasn't the case. In fact, there was a much deeper reason for why I was the one filming and why no one else was, because this night was literally like the most dramatic, at least for them, like for the average attendee, you would have never known like what was going on behind the scenes, but they were totally beefing, and they're just arguing back and forth, and it's kind of getting like progressively like more like, like they're starting to kind of like put hands on each other a little bit, and they're like really starting to raise their voices. Meanwhile, the one guy who gave me the camera and the alcohol, he's plastered. Like, he's so drunk, he's not really even making sense. He's kind of just arguing like random stuff. And come to find out a little later, a big part of this argument is because he would rather just get super drunk than do any of the work, than, do anything. So like that kind of all starts to make a little more sense now. But they're kind of going back and forth, and it kind of just starts off as them putting their hands on each other, kind of just like a little pushing, like, like fuck you, dude, stuff like that, to like they start getting into a fist fight, and like they're full on, like they're going at it, and like, Connor's pretty drunk, so he's not necessarily like doing the best job defending himself or like whatever. Like, Austin's honestly kind of got him pinned to the ground pretty quickly. After like a few punches, were like, it wasn't much of a fight, Austin's already got this guy pinned to the ground, damn near got him in like a chokehold. And Jenny runs around the corner and she's screaming. She's like, oh my God. Like, she has, and I'm standing like a foot away from these guys with like the camera in my hand. I'm kind of like, I have no idea what to do, because I'm just like I'm just like a deer in the headlights. I have literally no idea like what was going on or anything. I didn't know what to do. Like, so Jenny's like, look at me. She's like, what are you doing? Like, help me. And like, so we start like pulling them apart and stuff, whatever. We're kind of holding them back. We're kind of in the middle of them, and they're still screaming at each other. Like, they're trying to like throw like these, not great punches, but they're still going at it. They're not giving up. And we're like, I'm holding Connor and she's got Austin. We're kind of just like holding them back, and she's, she's pissed. She's screaming at them. She's like, what are you guys doing? Like, this, you're ruining this whole night. Like, she was just like completely blown away by this whole event, because like she was kind of like with me, like we're both like shocked. We're like, what is going on with you guys? And like literally just like was so random, because like it just went from being so hyped, so lit, to that, and like I'm helping break up this fight, and like Connor's all got a bloody nose and shit, and like again, it wasn't a crazy fight. I've definitely seen worse, but it was just so like out of pocket, I guess, like so random. Like, I thought these guys were like best friends, and yeah, I kind of saw their true colors. And one other thing is they kind of wanted me to work with them more often. Well, this was the only time we ever worked together, and it really became apparent after that why. Like, I think Jenny eventually ended up leaving their crew. Like, literally, they wouldn't let me use any of the footage that I filmed. I understand it was on their camera, but they're like, nah, dude, like liability, like legal, all this, like they're trying to, like they're gatekeeping this footage, and I'm like, the crazy thing is they never ended up using it for anything, which kind of pissed me off, because like I really got a lot of good shots in my opinion, and I don't think any of those ever saw the light of day. But either way, I still had an absolute blast. And something else I have to mention too, like after the show, right? Katera's all coming up to me, and she's like, And I'm not trying to like flex or nothing. I'm not trying to like brag or anything like that. But I'm like, dude, this is like one of the most gorgeous females I've ever seen and talented at the same time. And she's all coming up to me. She's all talking to me. She's all giving me a hug, dude. And listen, man, not one of those BS hugs where it's like, you know, a female like half-assedly like wants to like put one arm around you. No, get away from me with that crap, bro. This girl's coming up to me like she's embracing me, bro. And I'm you know, I'm embracing back. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm with it. And you know, we're talking. She's like, oh, you know, she's kind of getting close to me. I'm like, damn, bro, like, you know, like, and I felt bad because like I was talking to this other girl at the time, so it's like I would have been all over this situation, is what I'm saying, if like I didn't have that. But I'd try to like, you know, I'm consider myself to be faithful, so it's like this was like God like testing me, like this is like the ultimate, you know, test or whatever. But I'm just like, dude. And you know, she's just like we're just kind of talking for a little bit. She's like, oh, you know, thank you so much for all this stuff. Can't wait to see the pictures. I'm like, yo, you're going to see the pictures. We're going to work again soon. Like all this stuff. We're like making big plans here. We're like, yeah, we're all this stuff. Right. And like, and meanwhile, this girl's like, we're like touching, you know, we're like, it's not like she's like 5 feet across the room. It's like, no, this girl's like getting close. Like I don't know, she's like feeling me or something. I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to act like I'm balling out here, but I'm like holding a $5,000 camera set up, and I'm like, you know, I'm looking decently fresh. You know, I'm probably smelling decent. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a good night. Literally the next day, right? Like I wake up pretty early in the morning, and people are banging my line. I mean, dude, KO, Stretch, everybody, Raina, Katera, everybody's banging my line. Even Austin and Connor, like, yo. Like, what pictures did you, like, they wanted to see the pictures I got on my camera, right? Because they, you know, I guess they liked what they had seen on there. So everyone's just blowing up my phone, right? And like, oh, I want to see the pictures. Well, like, I shot everything in RAW, and like, I still wanted to edit the pictures. So I was like, yo, guys, like, give me some time, right? But anyways, I spent that day editing, like, went grocery shopping with my mom. I really, like, vividly remember that. And like, I think we went to the movies as well, actually. I can't remember the movie we saw, but we went to the movies as well. So, yeah, it was just a good time, man. And, like, super late night I'll never really forget, because purely just, like, for the fact, like, it was so, like, raw, you know? It wasn't, you know, I'm not going to say it was the biggest concert I've ever been to by any means. No, I've been to way crazier concerts. But the fact that, you know, my buddy was able to get so much energy in the room. It's like, I don't know, dude. I just felt like he was a rock star, and I felt like during this time period we were rock stars, and we were just on the road. It was just so cool. Like during this time, this really helped set the scene for the Chronicles. So in the next video, we're going to be kind of getting into when I picked up my Acura TL. That's still the car I drive till this day. It's my baby, and you know, kind of getting into the antics that happened right around when I got the car, because I didn't have a car right at this point. And so, yeah, we're going to get into all of that. Yeah, one of my favorite memories of the beginning of 2019. So make sure to stick around and make sure to subscribe, all that jazz, yada, yada, yada. But thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.